To understand Assane, the main character in Lupin, is to understand his backstory. His father emigrated to France from Senegal and got a job as a chauffeur for a very rich, well-to-do French family. And while the woman of the house, Madame Anne, treated them pretty well as the daughter of the house, Juliette, I mean, she was a teenager and she was kind of slutty, coming on to a very young Assane, but he wasn't hating on it. Anyway, I'll get back on track. The man of the house, Hubert Pellegrini, was an asshole. And when one day this very expensive Marie Antoinette necklace went missing, of course, who are you going to blame? The Senegalese immigrant. Even though Assane's dad swore up and down that he had nothing to do with it. And the reason that Hubert really thinks he did it was because Hubert caught him in that very room the day prior. But Assane's dad wasn't stealing a necklace, he was dusting the bookshelf. And another person that was in the room that day was Madame Anne. And when Assane's dad says, ask your wife, Hubert says, keep my wife out of it, and sends him off to jail. Madame Anne never says a word, and the necklace was never found. The first chance that Assane gets to go visit his father in jail, he does so, but his father doesn't show up. And that's because his father had committed suicide. Or at least, that's the story that they're claiming. You get the idea that he might have been coerced into killing himself by other inmates. And when Assane was burying his father, Madame Anne showed up, asking if she could do anything, but at that point, it's too late. And Assane just walks by her and says, go fuck yourself. When Assane went back to his house, he found a gift that his father had gotten him for his birthday. And it actually was a book from that bookshelf that Madame Anne told his dad that he could take home for him. The book is called Arsène Lupin, the Gentleman Thief. And Assane read this book up and down, knowing every word, and really emulating Lupin. Lupin's whole thing is the fact that nobody knows who he is. And the fact that nobody knew who he was his biggest advantage. But he was also one step ahead of everybody. He was a lone wolf, but he did have a certain sect of people that he truly trusted. Now, present-day Assane has just gotten a new job at the Louvre as a janitor. He goes to meet with his ex, who also happens to be the mother of his child, to tell her the good news about his new job, although she doesn't think it's going to last very long. It's worth mentioning, though, it does seem like the two have a really good relationship, though. He asks about seeing his son, and they set up a date for the weekend. He then heads to go visit some low-life gangsters who he borrowed money from. The issue is he doesn't have the money. And that does not sit well with the one guy, Vincent, who's the guy we borrowed the money from. He has his goon, named Kevin, dangle Assane over a balcony, but Assane says, wait, I have a plan to get us more money than we ever know what to do with. Assane has devised this plan centered around the Marie Antoinette necklace that is going to be going up for auction from the museum. And his plan is to steal it. He tells them that he can get them to the necklace because he works at the Louvre, he knows the museum inside and out, and no one pays attention to the maintenance men. So the plan is for Kevin, Vincent, and their driver Rudy to sneak in as janitors while taking out some of the security guards and switching out those uniforms. Assane is going to get them in with some swipe cards, and he tells them to put chloroform in some of the cleaning bottles so they can knock these people out. They then have to disarm the security footage, and when they do that, they have about 7 minutes till the police show up. Assane, meanwhile, he'll be bidding on the necklace. And after he, quote, wins the auction, he knows that they send the necklace down to the foyer to be inspected and whatnot. That's where the group will grab the necklace, and at this point, Rudy is outside waiting in the getaway car, and they get out of there. And that plan is too good of a plan for Vincent to pass up. So it comes the day of the auction, and Assane shows up in a really good-looking suit, and the auctioneer starts explaining the history of the necklace. How, when the necklace went missing, it wasn't sold as one piece, it was broken up. And Hubert Pellegrini spent his life trying to get back those diamonds and recreate the necklace until he was finally able to do so. And that is what is going up for auction. One person that is there to watch the auction go down is Juliette Pellegrini, and Assane didn't really think that she was going to be there, but he's sitting far away from her, thinking that she probably won't notice him. The auction starts, people start bidding, and then Assane gets involved, although no one recognizes him. But Assane had planned on this, so he set up a fake Wikipedia page where he had 500 plus million euros listed as his net worth. So he checks out as far as they're concerned. During the bidding, though, he gets word from Rudy that the security camera footage is disabled, and now they have 7 minutes. So he upbids everybody by an extra $20 million and wins the auction. Everything so far is going according to plan. But little does Assane know that Kevin and Vincent are planning on double-crossing him. I mean, I'm sure Rudy was too, but Rudy had left to go in the getaway car. So Assane, along with the auctioneer, head downstairs to the foyer to examine the necklace. The auctioneer is a little hesitant to do so because he hasn't gotten the money yet, but Assane makes the claim that, hey, I just bid $60 million for this thing. I clearly check out. This thing's my new baby. let me just take a look at it. And Assane is able to get his hands on the necklace. But when he does, that's when Kevin and Vincent attack, taking out everybody in the room, including Assane, and stealing the necklace for themselves. They flee the Louvre, get in the getaway car, but it's a little too much car for Rudy, and they end up crashing and going into the Louvre, getting caught in the process. When the police show up, the police captain wants to interview everybody, including Assane, which the auctioneer thinks is ridiculous because he was attacked too. But Assane plays it beautifully, saying, no, that's okay. The police are just trying to do their job. The captain, though, has never heard of Assane and wants to know how he got his money. And he says, well, if you checked your cell phone today, you've made me money. The captain, though, does get a phone call that they caught the perpetrators and they've gotten the necklace back. They're sending it to the lab for testing to make sure it's legit. And he lets Assane go. But as Assane's walking away, the captain thinks better of it and decides to pat him down, although all he finds is a pen from the Louvre. He then, for the second time, allows Assane to leave, but Assane doesn't leave, going into a restricted area and changing into his maintenance man outfit. Because this whole plan was set up 2 weeks ago. Assane knew that Kevin and Vincent were going to double-cross him, and he had a friend of his make him a fake imitation necklace. So when Kevin attacked, Assane dumped the real necklace in a trash can and threw the fake necklace on the ground, and they had no idea. And since no one pays attention to the maintenance men, that night as he's leaving this shift, he takes the trash bag, fills it full of dirty diapers, the cops really don't check it, and he's able to get the necklace out of there. Now, this plan might have been for money, might have been for revenge for his dad. Either way, though, the plan played out beautifully. The necklace, getting a job at the Louvre. This was right out of Lupin's playbook. The next day, he goes and picks up Raoul just like he planned with his ex, and he actually gives him the Lupin book, the same book that his father had grabbed from the Pellegrini library. But there's only one slight problem. Assane is not the only one who's familiar with Lupin, because a police officer by the name of Youssef is very aware of Lupin. He, in fact, thinks that this story sounds way too familiar to Lupin. And when the police get word that the necklace that they have is fake, he starts to get very suspicious. And he is on to Assane, or should I say, he is on to the fake name that Assane used in the auction, Paul Cernine. Thank you so much for watching this recap. Please consider subscribing to the channel. Like the video if you liked it. Hit thumbs down if you thought it sucked. If you don't see the next video up in the end screen, don't worry, it'll be up soon. And please be nice in the comments section. Nobody likes being told they suck, even if it's true. Oh, and sharing's caring.